Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you had a really good break and I'm excited to see you guys again. So for our next project, we're going to continue with our winter theme. So we're going to be making a cardinal in the winter time, like on some branches. So we're going to draw this first part together, and we're also going to continue with learning about and kind of working with shading and making things look more realistic. So we've been doing that the last couple of times. We worked on shading before, so it's not exactly new. So we'll just kind of continue with that. So the first thing we're going to do is draw, and then we will work on shading. Okay? So you need a blank piece of paper and a pencil to start. Okay, there we go. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is draw the cardinal. So kind of like a curved line. So a curve, and then it's going to kind of go straight down. And then it's going to be pointed at the end because that's going to be the beak. Okay, then once you have that, you're going to draw the body of your cardinal. There's going to be a curve down there. So this is going to be a bird in the trees, or in the branches. Okay, then it's going to kind of wrap around this way. And we're going to draw the little tail with some lines like that, kind of like zigzags. Okay, and then now this part is going to kind of go curved and then up and around. So I kind of had to adjust my line just a little bit. Okay. Now the top of the cardinal is going to have kind of like some more feathers, and they're just going to be kind of pointy. So I'm just going to add those up there. All right, he's going to have a wing. So just a curve here. And then you're going to draw a little line where the beak ends, right by his face. And then, so cardinals have like a black face instead of red, like their bodies are red, and then their face is like covered with black feathers. So it's going to kind of curve and then go down a little bit. So that's just like the section where it would be a different color. Okay, and then his eye right there. All right. Next, you're going to draw his little feet. Yeah, I'm going to, sorry guys, I don't know if you could see that well. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay. So that's like the basic part of your cardinal. All right. We will draw the background together because I thought that this would be a nice winter type of tree. So like the evergreen tree or the Christmas tree, pine tree, one of those. All right. So most of you know I always outline mine just so I can see it better and it stands out. You do not have to outline, but if you want to, now would be the time. Okay? So our cardinal doesn't look exactly like a cardinal yet, but that is because it is not colored in. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start by drawing the background. If you wanted to do a different background than what I have, that's fine. So you guys can go ahead and add that now. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. So like I said, I wanted to make it look like my cardinal was kind of like in like a pine tree. So I was adding the pine tree leaves, which are like these kind of like pointy lines. And then I'm I'm just doing this with a regular black marker because I don't need to use a Sharpie for this project. If you are using a Sharpie, that's fine though. Okay, I'm gonna make these trees just kind of like go randomly throughout. And so they're just kind of like pointy at the end. So I'm just kind of using like quick lines. And really, you guys, you can add these branches anywhere on this paper that you want. So sometimes branches are thick, sometimes they're thin. So that's why I'm kind of adjusting them and making them like some thick, some thin. So if it's the end of the branch, then you would see the top of it, so it would look a little bit different. And maybe just like one more here. Just like a small one. I think that's good. Definitely looks wintry. Okay, we're gonna work on the shading part now. So what you're gonna need is you're gonna need a black crayon or a black colored pencil and also a red crayon or a red colored pencil because we're making a cardinal. Okay, and cardinals are red. All right, so inside of this little shape that we drew, this whole thing's actually gonna be colored in black. Because like I said, around their eyes and their face, their feathers are black. Okay. Now, all the way around this wing, we want to make it look like it's like more realistic. So when we were working on shading last time, we talked about how you press hard and then you press medium and then you press light. So right underneath the wing here, we're going to make it kind of look like a little shadow. So right next to that line that we drew, I'm going to take my black and I'm actually just going to use kind of like a medium pressure and then get lighter. So medium and then light next to it with the black crayon or colored pencil. Okay, so that looks like it's more of the wing, it more looks like it's like standing out. Then on the wing, you're going to have a little bit more black in that corner. I'm going to press hard in the corner and then kind of like feather it out to be medium and then light. Okay, like that. Underneath here, by the bird's belly, same thing. We're going to do some shading to make it look round. So I'm going to more so press like medium and then make it go from medium to light. All right, it's really starting to look more like a bird now. I like it. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing up here by these feathers by his head. So just kind of like a medium. All right. And then the last one is going to be by his tail, or the feathers by his tail. Same thing. Just kind of feather it out from medium to light. So I didn't really use the black pressing super, super hard except for right here and then like right here in the corner of that feather. Okay? All right, now that we have like the basic part of the shading, you're now going to take your red crayon or colored pencil and you're going to actually go over all of that. So I'm going to just, I'm just actually coloring right over it, just normally, and getting in that red color. So I'm going to just press normal. And now we could always go back and make it darker if we want, if we think that the red wasn't dark enough. So try and use just like a medium pressure and try and stay in the lines nice and neat. Try and color in one direction. To make it look really like smooth. Okay, so I'm done with the red. I don't think that I pressed hard enough with the red. I don't like how light it is. So I think I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna press a little bit harder with my red. Now keep in mind, since you use black to shade this, it's not gonna matter. The black will overtake the red. So you can always press harder. It's not gonna like erase the shading that you did, if that makes sense. Okay, so see how I just darkened my red? I think it looks a lot better. It looks way more like a cardinal now, and I like it a lot better that way. So if that happened to you, you can go back and just press harder over what you've drawn. I think that looks really good, and I'm happy with how my cardinal turned out. Okay, and then the last thing that I did was I started to add the green in my pine for my trees. So you could use markers or you could use crayons for those, whatever you want. And what I did was I actually just kind of like drew in the lines just like next to the black. So you don't have to spend like too much time coloring it because there's really not much to color. You're kind of just like adding more lines, I guess, like where you added the black. I'm using a blue-green. If you want to use a regular green, that's totally fine. So on. Okay, so then I would continue, and then what I just did in my original one. So in my original one, I did use regular green on the pine, and then in the background, I used a light blue to color in the sky, and I added some snowflakes with marker. Okay, so that is it for that. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope that you really worked on your shading with this, because I think this was like a good project to kind of, I don't know, practice, just because it was small and kind of easier to do. All right, so I hope you guys had a good time, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.